Welcome everybody, MBG here today with The Long War. And joining me once again is Kenny Boucher and Juice.
Yo, Doc, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
Yo, so what's happening, guys? Did you guys blink this weekend? A lot of stuff went down over the weekend, and it's getting crazy out there, right?
Yo, I would say it's like the calm before the storm, but there's literally no calm. It's all storm. Something new.
I can't even believe the stuff I've been seeing online, you know what I mean? Like, I thought, yeah, exactly. Like, there is no calm. Like, I've seen all the stuff online that Spiky Bits has been posting up. And then all of a sudden I saw more stuff, and I was like, wait a minute. Is it literally every cool thing is coming out this week?
Yeah, it's been pretty nuts. Forge World dropped a ton of stuff. Like, Warhammer World just did a grand reopening over in England, and man, that whole facility looks bananas. I wish we had something cool like that here in the States. And of course, Forge World was there. And like, hey, look at all the new stuff. You know, new Horus Heresy book, new Warlord Titan. You know, all this stuff. Man, it all looks fantastic. I tell you. Then there's all the dioramas and everything. And then come to find out after all that, like, oh, and by the way, we're gonna do Forge World Open, you know, in July here too. So it's like, oh, you guys got like 2 months, and there's gonna be even more.
Yep. How many War Titans do you think they sold opening day?
That's
a lot.
1,249 pounds, I think it was.
So it's like,
made today.
50 still is pretty tight. Yeah, you have 50 cats willing to spend, drop 2 G's immediately.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And then some people posted up. Did you see the pictures like of the instruction manual? Looks like a Horus Heresy like Forge World
novel.
book.
It's that thick.
It's like so good. Oh man.
Yeah, Wargaming Services is doing a special. We're serving a special up of we will not touch this model. It's free advice. Don't ask us to put it together.
I have very good clients that me and Kenny share. Asked me what do I charge to put it together, and I was like, well, you're probably not gonna like the answer, but I'd love to do it. I'd love to do it. Oh man, I am not gonna buy it myself. I have 2 Warhounds and a Reaver that are barely together after 6 years. Got a little bit of wait in line right now. I don't feel like that's a good purchase for me.
Have a good weekend and everything?
Dude, it was pretty good for me. Like, you know, I worked Saturday, working all the rumors. Actually played golf on Sunday. That was pretty fun.
Very fresh. I thought the PGA was in town. I was like, my man Robbie B is chilling.
Yeah, that was fun. And let me tell you guys, you know, my buddy was like all stretching beforehand, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna stretch. This is golf. I was so sore. I was every muscle in my body. I was so sore. Oh man, but it was fun. But I need to go out. I need to do that like once a month at least, because it's just, you live on a golf course, right?
Oh yeah,
right next to one.
I live on a hole in Highland Hills here in the North Carolina, golf capital of the world, of the universe.
I can just tee off, you know, right off your deck, right?
Yep. Yo, sometimes it happens. You drink one too many cervezas and you'll be teeing off everywhere.
Pretty much explains into your place. Yep. Cervezas.
Yeah, scheduling issue is a little later, whatever else, but man, it is filling up as always here, guys. I just want to do a rundown and a shout out for everybody. Got Clay Cruz, straight up. I think he is a model. Excited. United Wargamers, our boy Jay Cox chilling. Sal, love it. Gavin checking in. Famous Amos. Quite a few famous,
Quite a famous people tuning in.
Yo, a lot of famouses out here. Gavin wants to know, he's saying it's like 1 broadside and 2 Cyphermen, Contemptor Dreads. Isn't messing around, ad-libbing. From those Forge World prices, they've gotten a lot bigger, I guess. So all those models have went up in price?
Maybe. I didn't notice that they raised prices. It wouldn't surprise me though. Maybe he's just saying he wouldn't buy bigger kits, which I can totally understand too.
That Forge World's a little out of my price range because I'm functionally poor.
Yeah, sure.
I definitely know the feeling there. Yeah, I'll totally take the blame again. The technical issues on that scheduling. Uh, just Google, man. It's just tough to work with sometimes.
It happens.
Good news, we're gonna kind of combo the webcast that y'all are hearing right now. We're kind of gonna use this as a warm up, and we're gonna try air quotes because y'all know how I am with technology. Kenny's part of this too. Kenny.
I don't mess it up.
Yeah.
We're going to turn this into a podcast, the very first podcast, Machine Gods and things like that, over the next couple days, and try to kick out a podcast for you relatively soon, based on what we talked about in this webcast. So if we don't get to some of your questions, don't fret. We'll try to maybe get to the
absolutely the best questions are going to make it to the podcast. So think about that when you guys are asking questions.
Also,
think
a lot
about
of
what you want to be heard on a podcast, immortally etched in stone forever.
Yep. Also, too, it's going to be a chance to talk about a lot of other things because we want to make sure here on the podcast on the webcast that we dedicate an X amount of time to it. But there's going to be another full hour that we get to talk about topics, everything else. So don't feel like if you've watched this that you really don't need to tune in for the next one because it's still going to be fresh.
Enough different content. We're working hard doing them back to back. This is essentially our recording night. So, we're really excited about it. We've done all the graphics today. We got all our ducks in a row. So, please recognize that you guys are going to be the first set of questions that make it to our very first podcast. So, ask some questions, please.
I have a question for Kenny. How do you feel about cats?
Yes, but they're not people.
Oh, they are people. You watch my video.
Miss Amos is saying that he donated to your cat friend Robbie.
Oh, terrible story. They found these two cats in a planter, just a planter box, and the one just had I saw the X-ray. It does not look good.
What were they?
They were abandoned. Only like 9 months old. So and that's another thing too. It's hard to operate on cats that young. Kenny, you had some work done on. And they were kind of worried about it because of her size, right?
Doug, they didn't want to
look. Whoa. I kind of want to talk about some more current event stuff. That kind of happened over the weekend. Obviously, the big Warhammer World stuff. We got Guilliman, the Primarch coming out, the Warlord Titan, new Tempest book for Horus Heresy.
Yeah,
Obviously, dropping them new release bows. A lot of stuff coming out of Forge World and things like that. There was also some cool events over the weekend. There was a couple of major tournaments, Philadelphia being one. One of our listeners, Jay Cox, did really well with some Necron. Austin, who was also on the show a lot on our videos and things, did really well. Kelsey Master Shake did pretty well. So it was just a lot of stuff going on. I definitely want to talk about Necrons because they seem to kind of be the sleeper. Get it? Kind of out there and things like that. Some new releases from Mantic too. Checked out what they've been doing in the past year or so. They got some really good looking stuff.
I haven't. I'm not very familiar with the whole Mantic scene. Don't really know what that's about. Jay Cox is talking about Philly and some Eldar questions, but we're gonna get that here in a second because I want to hear what Robbie B has to say about this Mantic.
Yeah, that was something we were talking about too there. Mantic's got a new line of demons coming out that look really good. They're making a big push on their Kings of War line, square-based fantasy, for lack of a better description. But they have an open source rules where you can kind of use these rules and you can kind of play with any game. You know what I'm saying? So, it's kind of the best of both worlds. I feel like they got a lot of cool terrain sets.
Did you see those lizardmen? Is that what you guys talking about?
A lot of pictures of round base stuff.
Those were fresh, man. I'm like, yo, how do I get those bases for my flesh hounds? For my core and demon kit. That base is the truth. I love that base.
There's so much good looking stuff, coming out, and now we're hearing rumors that Space Marines might be the next release. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, man. What do you guys think about it?
Well,
I'm about to hit you guys with something that's a hot topic.
What's that?
Use to make it official, make Dark Angels a part of Codex Space Marine. Buddy Dean We were doing some ATC prep over at Event Horizon. You know, he's a big Dark Angels guy.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
You know, you guys don't have any like opinions one way or another on it?
Go ahead, Rugby.
Well, you're the one that has a whole Raven Wing army, so I'll let you go.
One way or the other. Like, I feel like a lot of their stuff would get fixed if they didn't have to worry about having their own set of stuff. I feel that if the Black Templars got lumped in, where they had their own kind of quasi-supplement and everything else, that they got lumped in, then why not? They never been as popular as Blood Angels, where they could stand alone. And I think a lot of their rules could benefit from being within the book. So
I agree with you, because when you really just compare them to what's happening right now, like obviously White Scars, that's 1/3 of what we think of when you think of like, you know, whole Dark Angels flavor, a bike army, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my opinion, besides the fact that you're totally right about like they would benefit, to me, Belial's never been a badass. Samael's never been a badass. They're essentially, in my mind, like Justicar Thawne upgraded characters.
Yeah, Samael is literally, up until recently, has always just kind of been a land speeder, or
he's just a chump that lets you unlock something.
You know, like, first off, he is one of the best looking models that the Space Arsenal has. But besides that, like, his rules don't really stand up.
But that they made him like Justicar Thawne was like 75-point upgrade to a already captain or to a sergeant upgrade, and then you unlock something cool. Like what if like it was organized exactly the way you think about it right now? And Azrael was your Lord of War, and they made him obviously good, and he did something appropriate, like cool. Tactic Dark Angel, all plasma guns twin linked. Cool. Got it. Over it, you know. Then you move into going this fast attack and the elite entries in the Codex, and one Terminator squad can purchase a veteran sergeant upgrade for another 75 points to become Belial, and that unit of Terminators that he's attached to has objective secure and precision deep strike. Same thing goes for one biker unit. They can be upgraded to have Samael as their gains objective secure and something. You know what I mean? Like simple things, and it'll only make it like 75 points. And you know what I mean? And tone down like this one guy makes all bikes, you know, stuff. Right now, a chapter master on bike makes all bikes troops. Like that's weird. But I mean, like I think that just make them a lot more background than they used to be. Make Azrael a true beast, and then just give them access to grav weapons and centurions like everybody else, and paint them green. You'll win some games.
And the whole concept of it's kind of like when again we've talked about it before with the Storm Shield, like. Man, why is my Storm Shield different? Why is yours different? This and this, but like I can't figure out.
Really slowed up.
Yeah, but they're even worse to update Grav. Like, explain to me why these other codexes still just haven't them yet. Plus that I get my weapons through not as good because I'm painted green. Like so I just wish they would be a little bit more prepared. And actually, speaking of book updates, Jay Cox is hitting on something right here that they talked about in Philly. That's the Philadelphia, the tournament they just got back from, and a lot of Eldar models have the distort rule. Now, is that old distort or new distort? What do you think that is?
I actually did a big blog post about this after talking with Austin about it, I think 2 days ago. But distort doesn't exist, so when these Forge World units say distort, technically that doesn't exist anymore. Obviously, the popular opinion is that they are destroyer. Just like the distort scythe, either destroyer or the distort scythe special rule. If they were a template, the warp hunter kind of does both. It has like a straight shot and a template, so it's kind of like a hybrid between the two even. So now it's like, it's a little touch and go. I mean, obviously, I feel like I started looking back at some of these Forge World books, and I that there's a lot of stuff in these books that's just completely outdated, and for a book that's less than 2 years old to be almost completely outdated seems a little irresponsible on Forge World's part when they put out such beautiful miniatures, such beautiful rule set initially, and then kind of fail in like the late game, life of these books, So I kind of feel like
there's been a lot of confusion, and I think that the reason we're seeing this big push, obviously, like this crazy push, I really think that maybe those days are over, and they're
Forge World, 3 out of 4, areas is always spectacular. Customer service, amazing. Design of models, amazing. Initial, amazing. but towards the end of the life of these books, not amazing. I mean, technically, we don't even have 7th edition rules for anything Sovereign Law.
And that never used to really matter. Damn, that's a great point. And that never used to really matter in your game of Warhammer 40K. But now they are one and the same, and it does matter now.
It really does.
How much of that is that kind of like an open cry saying, hey, Forge World actually is much of in the scene that it needs to be kept up with? It's not supposed to be played together, as a competitive player, not, as much as GW is keeping up with the rules. I mean, the people have to both be on the same page, right?
Yeah, and I feel like, at the very least, if you're going to put out a new edition of the game, i.e. 7th edition, you need to release 7th edition rules or updates or FAQs or
absolutely sit down and just come out with a list of 7th edition updates for crying out loud, right?
And they did that for a lot of 6th edition stuff, and I feel like they had more warning for the 6th edition stuff. Obviously, we didn't really see it so much with 6th edition.
And to Kenny's question, no. Dark Angels need to remain unique. The fluff describes them as remaining in the pre-heresy crusades, being elite chaos space marine fighters.
For the famous Amos is that this has never happened before. The Space Marine Codex comes out before the Dark Angels Codex. So even if Dark Angels still have a unique codex, will have OP Marine Codex for them to use as the basis of their rules.
And I think, I don't want to be too negative about it. But I feel like a lot of it has to do. These books have to do with who is their writer or whose book it is. And in the past, historically, we've seen that Jervis Johnson is responsible for a lot of the Dark Angels content, and he's
a little overbalancing.
He might not be that in touch with exactly the way things should go, or things. He might not agree with the way things really are. Maybe on the tabletop a little bit. He kind of called us all wankers at Adepticon a couple years ago. I don't know if I should take offense to that, but I feel like I should.
I mean, yeah, are you calling me a name, or are you describing something that I do? Or I got an onomatopoeia.
Can you use it in a sentence, Mr. Jervis Johnson?
Yeah, onomatopoeia on you.
Like, honestly, a Wraith Knight is exciting because they gave it incredible rules that are very compelling price tag. Overbalanced. They go completely the other direction. They give us decent rules at a very lofty price tag. When you consider that Abaddon is basically the same points as Drago. Drago is
level
ridiculous, the things they can do. You know what I mean? Like, so it is what it is, and we always got to push through, and hopefully that they, like I said, like basically Dark Angels have always been Space Marines, bitch, because they've always come out first. You think it's pretty cool, then the Space Marine Codex comes out, and it is no longer cool because Space Marines have everything that's good. Hopefully they flip it around this time since Space Marines is coming out first.
And that would be really cool to see. I mean, obviously, Amos is right. Dark Angels have all this amazing character. Cypher, the Unforgiven.
They have amazing fluff and really crappy stuff, as far as I can tell.
They do. I mean, even the Heavenfall Blades. I mean, the Rock. They freaking fly around in an asteroid with like some warp engines on it. It's part of their planet. Like, how cool is that? Like, it's just it would be really cool and they got great looking models too. I mean,
man, and I mean, it's just you're right about how unique they are in fluff, but it's like ultimately like a bunch of guys with plasma guns. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, got it. You know what I mean? Like space.
I mean, like, I absolutely love those land speeders, like churches and cathedrals on land speeders and all this. Like, cool. Got some models. Those Black Knights or Deathwing Knights or whatever they're called, like old
battalions are so fresh, yeah.
Models, love them. And again, Samuel is probably one of my favorite models. I'd like to see him get some love, but definitely.
Angels. You guys want to hear something cool that I was thinking about this weekend?
Yeah.
Cypher in a Khorne Demonkin army.
Give it somebody. Now he can attach to a unit, correct? And give it.
Remember, this is something that like me and Kelsey were talking about the other day because he's like this idea where he's going to attach him. You can't do that because units that have infiltrate must deploy using infiltrate. That's actually a rule. Like people scouts on the table, they infiltrate, then they can scout. But you must, that's how units with this infiltrate supposed to roll deploy. They have to set up last after every other model. So basically, you can't join people to scouts because that's infiltrating. You know what I mean? Like that whole part of the rules that every other tournament has their own rule about. So the same thing with Cypher is that he has infiltrate. So there's a thing there that people are thinking about, that you absolutely have to infiltrate with him to get your unit right. But corn dogs, they scout, Cypher infiltrates, right? So he infiltrates behind some little spot. All you go on turn. You guys link up because now you guys are battle brothers because they count as Chaos Space Marines and Cypher's a battle brother to them. You can those types of demons, and now all of a sudden you have Shroud on a unit of 20 corn dogs and hit and run.
Heard that was good.
Yeah. Hit and run.
I know our boy gonna love some corn dogs and some Shroud and hit and run.
For model.
I have one of those.
Yeah, that is actually something that Barely Tabletop Quality showcases is Cypher models. K9.
At Philadelphia, I heard he was there.
Yeah, Jay Troop was saying him and Austin went. I'd like to know how did everybody do? What won?
Next ones, I think.
That's good.
Actually,
I heard Austin did well. And Justin Cox did really well too, right?
Yeah. Aaron Thompson went. He got middle of pack 30th, best Space Wolf. I think Austin got best Eldar. Justin Cox went 5-1. So
Cox.
Yep. So it's a pretty good showing from some of our listeners and
I heard that Austin monkey stomped Nick Navati.
He did
on Facebook, and I get all the updates all the time, and it's all these guys who are quote unquote super good at 40K whining all the time as far as I can tell.
All I know is I saw a question come up on there. Hey, what's the range on Eldar Hornets? And then some guys were like 48.
I saw some people trying to figure out the strategy. Can I out deploy Eldar Hornet?
Oh yeah, don't forget they scout. And then so I'm thinking to myself, I was like, that's interesting. I know somebody that took 9 later, maybe an hour and a half later. I see something about Nick saying he's quitting 40K
because Austin beat him. You heard it here.
I was like, that's really unfortunate.
I know what Adepticon doesn't lose very many games with his Adepticon list. Austin from the Long War beat him down.
I mean, you don't want to see somebody like quit out like that, but
it's nice knowing you, dog.
It's fine. We talk all the time.
With X-Wing and War Machine, and can I buy your army off you?
Yo, how?
Oh. No, speaking of X-Wing, got some more games in this week. I got my. Oh, do I have it in here? No, I don't have it in here. I got my my Table War mat in, my Starfield mat. It's like having a big mouse pad of just 3x3, and I've been playing a ton of games on that, and it's it's pretty cool stuff. Like I don't know, you haven't seen a lot of the mats that they put out, but a lot of them are really crappy, like quality. They're like vinyl and they scratch. These things are just straight up like mouse pad material, just like your straight mouse pads, like just straight up like
mouse
awesome
pads?
stuff.
Just straight up mouse pads?
Is it pad?
Is it a cat pad?
So the irony is so deep right now. You have a mouse pad that has a picture of a cat on top of it.
Is that?
I mean, I feel like you've crossed some barriers. Hey, I'd like to interrupt this broadcast here for just a second. I'd like to know if anybody else, Famous Amos is saying that tonight it feels a little choppy or anything else like that. It
does.
Is anybody else? I have to admit I'm feeling like it is not. I feel like this has been good this evening versus some of the other ones. So, just get your guys' feedback.
Be aware we are going to be moving to Twitch here soon. We're basically getting tired of this being Google Plus's standard operating procedure. So
yeah, like every week something seems to go wrong. Whether it's I didn't click the right button, or there's a certain sequence of buttons to like start up the webcast, or just general like.
This technology is getting old quick, and the thing that's funny about it is it's a new technology. It's like
we're definitely go something a little bit more proven, you know.
Dark Angels, Sal is liking how Kenny is theory crafting here. This is the most that he's seen Kenny theory craft, and he likes it.
I almost crapped my pants. I was doing it so hard.
So much focus.
So talk about speaking of crapping your pants. So
I said we're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How many stories do we need?
Yeah, y'all will beat me on that every day of the week. I got a little stomach, so I can't generate that kind of firepower. But so I was talking with Austin and Kelsey and them about the new Knights, and you know they had some interesting ideas. And then Kelsey's like, yeah, and you know that one squad, you know, it's a squad of Knights. And I'm like, yeah, let me guess, you're building it. He's like, yeah, of course. And I was like, of course. Because what is it better than a squad of invisible Knights, right? But he's like, well, think about this. He's like, think about the stomp from that squad. And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, yeah, you got 3 of those big bases. You only got to move up 3 to try to base them. But now, if one's in combat,
you drag the rest in.
Yeah, you drag
the whole time.
You can super angle it to where you get like 3, you know, perpendicular, right? But then here's the thing: you just have to stomp starting with the one that's in combat.
Initiative 1 attack, like it's just.
Yeah, like it could be like anywhere within like 2 feet.
It's not so good.
Heard that's a lot of D. I mean, like, oh, wow, I've got invisible and I'm stomping. I literally tuned out. Like, yes, magically D can be everywhere. Eldar has D artillery, flying D, template D. Space Marines need all the D they can.
We're gonna need some Ds.
Yes. Shoot, mindless missile Ds. I mean, literally, they need to just sprinkle it out everywhere. For a 5-point upgrade, Plasma Talons can have rapid-fire D shots. You know,
with a D
Scout Biker doesn't come with a launcher.
Launcher.
What do you guys think about like the Cataphrone destroyers with all those like grab shots? Basically, like you can get 18 shots at 150 points roughly. Like, do you think that'll do any work?
Good nights. Like,
yeah, not to that, but I feel like for 115 points, I feel like that is a solid. Yeah, it's a super solid. Like, I mean, dude, I was paying more for that for Razorbacks back in the day, you know, with just last blast. So yes, I'm going to give that. I'm going to invest all those kind of points for it. But I mean, it's literally just going to be, you know, what is the difference between all the grab now and it's like, yo, you go up against something with all the D, you're done. You know, go up against something with it's just the rock paper scissors that we've had.
To see how crapping your pants was a segue to talking about 3 Night Titans. I understand it perfectly. Crap my pants.
24-inch D bubble. Literally, even just saying that made me crap myself.
Let me a little bit more. So not only do these Knights can they do that, right? But they all get D3 Hammer of Wrath too, and that's a strength 10 Hammer of Wrath. Like, yeah, okay, you get your normal save, but still, you fail your save.
Yeah, no, Juice is with me on this. I hate strength 10 Hammer Wrath attacks.
No,
you're dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just overall like don't bring a knife to a gunfight. If you do, you better bring 5 guys versus their 1. You know, like that's basically where we are in the game right now. So, you know, with all the D, with everything else, you better be invisible. You know.
Yeah, no, I think so, and I think you might see like the Eldar kind of be in the equilibrium to the Imperial Knights. It seems like Eldar have a lot of answers for Knights, but Knights have a lot of answers for like a lot of other things too. So it's going to be really interesting. Huge rock paper scissors contest right now, and it's really only going to get solved like if and when maybe the next big release comes out. Looks to be that way at this point. Not exactly sure.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, Robert B, I'm going to just, we're having a lot of people talking about the Clay and Sal and a few of the other ones talking about how laggy it is. I'm just going to go ahead and cut my camera off. I don't know if it'll, maybe, you know, maybe it'll do something. Looks like Kenny's back. He was frozen. I was actually going to blow his picture up and make it. Dude, It looked like a
Kenny
school
asked.
picture. Yeah, it was like that was a yearbook picture from '93.
I'll drop. I'll take the camera off too, just to see what we can upgrade
Yeah,
it.
you know me.
I think I'm, wait, one of you guys was the host. Like, I jumped in. I think Kenny's the host, actually. Yes.
I'm even at my good end. Ugh.
Sal, man, Sal, thanks for summing that up. Literally, if you guys would just muscle through it with us, we will be at Twitch soon, and trying to do everything we can, upgrade where we can.
Yeah.
If I drop out of this call, do we lose the call?
I don't think so, because I think we're technically all signed in as the Long War, but who knows?
So, also to keep it going, it's like you bring up a good point with this. I mean, after a loss or a hard loss, there's nothing wrong with an additional brief, whatever else. So, no, I agree with that. Let me tell you, I was in a bad way 2 years ago at Adepticon. It was nothing. Basically, I go with all my events and stuff, and literally played 6 games at Adepticon where it's a win-loss. Basically, after you lose your first, you might as well just quit. But I'm a quitter, and literally I played 5 Eldar and 1 Tau or something like that, and it was just like unbelievable. Oh my goodness, man! It was if you didn't have Eldar, running around Wave Serpents playing 7 Wave Serpents after 7 Wave Serpents. After I play a good tight game, and then they held 200 points of Eldar jet bikes in reserve, and literally just massively win. And that was a tough ride, 10-hour drive back for me.
That's a rough weekend, yeah.
Oh man, I was like, so yeah, I feel your pain, Sal. I'm right there with you, homie.
It's losses like that are always tough. It's all about the, obviously none of us were there. We heard things through Facebook and through intermediaries and all things like that. And obviously, it's human to be upset after you have a bad beat. So I could totally understand that. I mean, I can't remember the last time I threw something during a game. I know I threw my phone a couple of times, been upset about some stuff, maybe through a window, whatever. But we're all human and we're all guilty of it. But it really comes down to how you play the game with your opponent. That social contract that Kenny talks so much about. That we try to touch on a lot too. When you're at the table with your opponent, you're going to be there for 3 hours. You might as well get along with them. Kenny told me the other day. He's like, hey, look up sportsmanship and in the dictionary. Of course, I went online because I don't have a dictionary.
No one does.
Yeah, it's like, what is that? I still get phone books in front of my apartment. I'm like,
why?
It's basically being as invested in the game as your opponent is. So it's all about having fun.
You have to care about their win as much as you care about your own win.
And and I really feel very strongly about that.
It's actually kind of messed up to think about it any other way. Like, I really hope that you win your game of 40K. Everyone who plays, you know what I mean, including the guy I'm playing against. And I really want him to be as successful as me during this game. And that's why Warhammer it should be about playing with each other. Obviously, a competitive spirit exists. There should always be a competitive spirit, and it's up to every individual to figure out how they're going to implement this type of sportsman, like this definition of sportsmanship on the table. And it is a very unique thing.
I'd like to hit on something Amos just said about, he's played the game long enough, he doesn't get upset. I think a lot of us, I've been playing for 13 or 14 years since the second edition of it, and I've used that kind of mantra myself as like, things don't surprise me anymore, this and this. But I will say, times, if I ever do get frustrated with the game, it's usually, at first I was never really, for the most part, in my opponent. I've only had, in maybe 1 million games that I've played, I bet you I've had 3 altercations with people. You know what I mean? And they usually get taken care of at the table. Like it's not a big deal. But what I do get frustrated with is when you pay money, when I travel, spend all the time and effort and money, and it's the same concept I can be said whenever I go gamble in Atlantic City or anything else. You spend all that time and money, and right away, the first game or two, you haven't even really started getting good yet, or your blood working up, and literally the dice crap on you. And it is just layered after layer effect of that. It'll wear on you eventually. So, I mean, I agree. I don't let, 9 times out of 10 I won't. But sometimes, I get frustrated at the element of the game, not necessarily the player.
And I think a lot of that has to with tournament organizer responsibility level. Like, I think that only happens to me when the event is organized in such a way that it matters. I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, when it's that hyper-competitive environment, like a series of bad die rolls.
Going to win, you know, if you should just pack it in or not.
Yeah, that something is wrong with the game.
Yeah.
With some element of the mission, of the atmosphere, some element is wrong. Like, you know what I mean? And it's
I'm saying, so if like my game 1, turn 2 is such a horrible shooting phase that I literally lost the tournament. If it's like that, then there's a flaw in the.
There's a flaw. There's an unknowable element there and that's what we at the Long War, we don't know if we have all the answers, but like one of the things we're really thinking about is this social contract and, like, you know, giving a way to enforce the contract in a tournament environment and kind of relabel the concept of a tournament for, to a social interaction. You know, like, we're here to win and compete, but I feel like we've put our we put a lot of priorities in the wrong places, even though we're trying to win.
Sal is saying he is a 17-year vet. He's saying, you know, losing happens. It only makes you strong. You toss in the travel, league, tournament expensive, all that stuff. All it does is make the grief harder. But, you know, when you do actually win under those circumstances, it makes it that much stronger.
Yeah, that yearning to win is 10 times stronger.
I just posted up super spy pic of young Money Juice over on the Long War Facebook. So check that out.
Did you as a kid?
I got a couple. I found them on the internet.
No. I'm about to just take that pic and put it up. I don't even have to go to the Facebook page. I know exactly what pic that is. That is the dungeon. Hit Point Hobbies at its first store location about 7 years ago.
7 years ago?
No, actually, now that I think about it, no. It was in two.
Pretty young, dog.
No,
yeah. I was to say, you look like a child.
Me now. You look like a Robbie B.
That's what you have now, isn't it?
No, that's my second one. That was in 2003.
Oh,
Time flies. I said that I've been playing 40K. I mean, into second edition was 98.
Yeah.
You said, yeah. Gosh, time flies.
Little Jews, look at that chain. Is that Cuban Link? What is that?
Yo, bro. Everybody wanted Figaro's back in the day.
Yeah. So Justin Cox, Jay Cox, hit me up with his list. We're gonna run that down real quick. So he's got the Decurion Overlord with a Void Reaper. That's that dope Fleshbane weapon. 10 Immortals, 2 units of 20 Warriors with 2 Ghost Arcs. Don't sleep on Ghost Arcs. They'll put a hurting on you. 3 Tomb Blades with the Strength 6 Ignore Cover Blast, obviously a fan favorite. 2 Cannon Optic Harvest formations with 6 Wraiths. Whip coils on all. 3 Scarabs, obviously, because that's part of it. Seems pretty solid. I mean,
real solid. Yo, obviously he did 5-1. So
full disclosure, I put the camera on Rob, so that way it's not just us and our little logos up there talking. So Rob, you're on. Everybody see you and your reaction to us talking. So no picking your nose.
What if? Okay, no problem.
Yo, unless you really got to pick your nose to get real close to the camera.
Yeah, if you're your nose, get up in this.
Dude, I have not picked my nose in like 5 minutes, so.
Yo, 5 maybe 3 minutes. B Yates, man, checking in. Saying he didn't realize, yo, that was definitely our fault, Yates.
Yes, we suck.
Yep, sorry about that.
Yeah. We just got so much on our table. You know, obviously we're trying to provide a better product and better quality. We're already so disappointed with this this live stream just being so laggy yet again. It's one more thing what we're doing. Got the podcast coming out literally tomorrow if everything goes according to plan. And we have.
It's been a wild ride. Oh, and speaking of which, we got a new Long War / Spiky Bit / Next Level Painting giveaway coming up here soon as well. Actually, I want to show you guys.
Show us the goods. Yeah, show us the goods.
Yeah, let me.
Ooh, is it that? Man, it's that kind of night where.
Yeah, we did. We did 10. We did 10 prize packs in the first giveaway, and I think Rob's giving. How many are you giving out for this one?
We're gonna do. I think 3. We're gonna do a grand prize one and two standard prize packs. But when I say standard, they're still pretty cool. I mean, you get some resin upgrades and stuff, stickers. And then, some acrylic markers and stuff from Green Man with the Spiky Bits logo on them. This is one of my most prized possessions, and I'm going to give it for you guys. I don't know if you can see it, but this is it's a signed artist print of the Primarchs, one of the covers, the short story covers for the Horus Heresy there, and it's numbered. I think it's drawn by Neil Harris. It's number 41 of 100, and it's a really nice frame. I paid a lot of money for this. But,
can I enter my name and win that?
No.
Okay.
But I'm going to need you to sign the back of this because we're all going to autograph it.
Oh, fresh, no doubt. And
just the cardboard in the back, right?
Yeah, for an extra $5, I'll turn that 41 of into 1 of 100. So that's an upgrade feature that you can look into. Just let me know.
Yeah. I have this great technique, Ancient, where I use a little out and I use my airbrush.
Yep, I use my Crayola airbrush, and sometimes I'll just put a line through the 41 and just write right over it. So,
every time you see a Crayola airbrush, I envision like you in a Super Soaker, just like straight up like trying to pressurize the thing.
Yeah, that's how I do base coating.
Yeah,
so, whenever I got a lot of models, I just put in the Super Soaker backpack. I don't know if y'all had that, but I murdered all the kids around me back in the day with our Super Soakers because whenever we were picking teams, everybody wanted me because I had the flamethrower that couldn't blow myself up.
I actually I turned mine into a flamethrower, and my dad. Yeah, it turns out gasoline actually destroys the seals inside of that one. It's ass beat, but I ruined my $50 freaking Super Soaker.
Well,
literally insane. I can't believe you would do something like that with gasoline.
I was the worst.
Who is that Robbie B that we're talking about? Because I don't.
I keep telling you guys stories, and you don't believe me, but I was the worst.
I
have been to prison.
He will shank. So, Bill Castillo, man, thanks for checking in. Better late than never. Thank you. And furthermore, I just saw he said that he just got his receipt in the mail or online for the book 5.
Yes.
Where is it at? I'm sorry. That's it.
Yep.
He's excited about it.
Oh man, that book looks so good. So many new rules. I mean, you got the new Stormbird first. All the rules for the new Ultramarines. All the rules for the Word Bearers. I think there was the Xiphon fighters in there. Man, it just looks so fresh. It's just really exciting stuff. And it's the last book was a little lackluster, but I think everybody's gonna really like this one.
I'm gonna like it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
Amos and Sal are gonna be competing for that Primarch picture.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Sal won the last one, like hands down. Had the most interest.
He did, but Famous Amos just sent me a text and was like, "Yo, ain't nobody else winning this but me. I am prepared to choke slam anybody I need to." Oh,
and I forgot to even mention part of that prize pack is one of the old 2nd edition Chaos Codexes, because Long War obviously Chaos themed. So that's
Dude, that's the one I want to win. And so, I mean, I think we're going to mail out all the prizes this week, right? Is that the plan?
Yeah, I got to scoop up all the swag from you when we're down there recording.
Yeah, we'll be recording this weekend, and so everyone, hold tight. It's going to be all shipping out this next week.
Soon, very soon, very soon. Lots to do. Always lots to do. It's always exciting times.
I feel like I painted for 45 minutes today before I did the webcast. I was like, man.
Yeah.
It is. Running a production studio is a lot of work, man, but it's worth it and it's fun, and I feel like we're getting somewhere with this bringing hobby back thing,
Exactly. And just to, I know we spoke about it before, but there's so much else going on behind the scenes besides, these videos, that fresh stuff, and the Wednesday night show. I mean, these guys are slaving away for the future, different produce lines, I'm sorry.
We're actually growing some GMO-free Long War carrots.
Gluten-free.
Exactly.
Gluten-free.
The production line of stuff is not going to sell itself. It's not going to create itself, all this artwork, making fun. I mean, it is literally 3 full-time jobs.
And if I wasn't a graphic designer, we wouldn't even be able to do
this. Yeah, we just couldn't do this.
Man.
It's been...
Not a day goes by that Rob me up and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to need you to design 2 things real quick." I'm like, "Yep, got it."
Yeah, on top of that, and just imagine the kind of issues that we're having right now, just this one system that we're on, man, Robbie B has got his hands full with the Long War, with spiky bits, with all the man, so much going on. It's mind blowing.
It shows you that the community is big enough to support it, though. I mean, like the fact all these mediums, we have thousands of people interacting and
it's crazy the amount of reach we get. I mean, whenever I log in on something, and I had to get to the point where I could only check my Facebook messages once a day because literally, like, there's so much. Like, wherever I go, whatever I open, I have to spend like half an hour on it. And,
I tell everyone to send it to my personal page. And I have the Messenger app on my phone, and I respond to you as fast as possible.
It's daunting to get to everything, man. It really is, but I think we do a good job of it.
Man, I hope we do. Got some recent YouTube hate though. To the contrary.
Yo, man, first off, he read this email from Do You Wear Clown Shoes? On
first off.
moviepoopshoot.com.
A moviepoopshoot.com.
Yeah, right on moviepoopshoot.com.
Wow. I mean, I got some hate recently. Actually, this morning, I wrote up a post that since I write these things obviously sometimes hours, sometimes days in advance, and putting stuff up, and some stuff had changed between when I wrote it and I had pictures, so it was all good.
Sometimes shit happens.
It does. I mean, that's what retractions are for. Page 10 of the Wall Street Journal. Little retraction in the corner. Oh, my bad. They changed it. No harm, no foul. But they'll keep you on your toes. That's for sure.
Internet will keep you mad on your toes. First off, I would just like to hit up a couple points. You are actually our first major hater. You are now named.
Oh, congratulations.
Hater 1, you're patient 0 of hate.
You are of the haters. We are the time warp, time machine hater squashers. First off, my man, people pay good money to have barbers shave him like that, and he doesn't. He does it himself. Don't hate, because you have 3 chin hairs, all facing different directions. All right?
Well, I don't think we need to get all personal. But
I will get as personal. I will say anything I need to say about this asshole without using his name. I'm blessed to be in the United States, and he gets to express his opinion about who I am.
Yeah, and it's definitely like you touched on. It's definitely it's very interesting how people will hide behind behind anonymity, and definitely say things that they might not say or necessarily say to your face.
And Rob is a good person. That's why he was feeling uncomfortable. He's like, don't get personal, because he never gets personal because he's a good person. He's like, there's no need for it, and it's like, you're right, Rob. There is no need for it. But he got really personal.
Yep.
It was more funny to us. It didn't really hurt our feelings. It was fun to post it on Facebook and see what you guys thought, and to see like overwhelming consensus of somebody else being a douche. Because we do work our asses off to try to bring hobby back, and if all you can focus on is my chest hair and my beard, I don't even know why you're watching my YouTube channel.
First of all, I think you have exceptional chest hair, and I would, if I had chest hair like that, I would show it off too, but I don't.
That's how I feel about it.
So I'm a little jealous, but I'm not going to go ranting about on the internet about it.
It actually felt kind of good to say those kind of things. Like normally in our previous endeavors, like I keep my opinions to myself and my biases to myself, and I'm like, nope, this guy's dead to me.
Well, I mean, you were right though. I mean, I feel like people don't talk like that. I certainly when I'm out about, people always come up to me and they say, stuff like, why are people so mean to you on the internet? I was like, well, it's the internet. I mean, obviously, and this comment here, this, I didn't agree with that, and I super appreciate it. But
Rob, great segue, Rob. You know what? You're right. That's what I was saying. It's like people don't act that way in real life.
No, not in 6, 7, 9, 6, 7. We're all in
a room. We've never met each other before. We're all gonna be friends. I promise you, we're all gonna be friends. You know what I mean? Like we're all gonna think each other's funny. We're clever. We're all gonna share the same mutual love for the hobby. We're all gonna be friends. But for some reason, you're behind a keyboard and you just want to be a vocal minority and you just want to hate things. You're absolutely right, and that is part of this whole social contract. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, didn't your mom tell you if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything?
My mom told me that. And then if I said something bad too, it was the ass whooping time.
Yep. I'll call my mom on this fool.
That's
See
right.
what happens.
Oh my.
He was about to roll.
Oh my goodness. 40K Sue will pluck those 3 hairs off that chinny chin chin. All right. She ain't playing. All right. So look, coming back a little more 40K related. Eric here has a great question for us, and I think we have time to get all to do the round robin here. What is your favorite 40K army to play? Robbie B, you want to start us out?
My favorite 40K army is Iron Warriors. I don't know. I read that Storm of Iron book when it first came out. I guess like one of the first Black Library books, and it was really awesome. Built a huge display table for a games day one year with a bunch of other folks from my game club at the time. And I love the Iron Warriors. I love painting them. I still have them. Don't really play them as much anymore, but I definitely want to start using some Heresy games. But they're my jam. They're my first love when it comes to 40K.
100%. So I'm actually going to throw 2 things out there. One of my absolute first loves of 40K was Sisters of Battle. Man, it was in 3rd edition where all the armies were in the single rule book, and Necrons and Sisters had like 2 pages, 1.5 pages from back.
That was the ghetto days. We had to look at White Dwarfs to get new rules, like Demon Princes and stuff.
Yep, exactly. So,
like invulnerable saves on Terminators.
Man, I had all pewter with heavy weapons. I had 3 Retributor squads. Man, it was a foot slog, and so is love. But obviously, can't hate. Like, Nids are my true passion. From Nidzilla to Gene Stealers to when the new 6th edition or 5th edition book came out, I mean, all about it. Starship Troopers, you can't if you disable their hand, they cannot push the button. From why do I need a knife in a nuke fight? So I mean, I love it. Love everything about it.
And if you go over to the Facebook page, you can see a picture.
Exactly.
What is this?
From years ago. And first off, I've got a knife underneath that table, ready to throw at a hand. I was about to throw a nuke on my guys.
Yep, I heard that. I think my favorite all time is obviously Death Guard. It's always been my thing. Like not just Nurgle, but like I've always been big into Death Guard fluff, but the chaos side of it, like I'm not into this pre-heresy. I'm into the tragedy of what Mortarion had to do to save his men, and to show you that ultimately he valued them more than his father, meaning that he would have forged any dark alliance to save them. And he's also not a welcher. He doesn't welch on a deal. He doesn't welch on an agreement. You know what I mean? When he tells Nurgle like, "Hey, save my people, and I'll work for you," he's not like gonna half-ass it. He's like, "I will spread your name like no one ever has. Like I'm gonna go all in it, show you my gratitude." You know what I mean? Like he's my people.
Kenny is the man, and he believes by that stuff because let me tell you, we're playing games. It literally happens every game. He'll throw like 15 sixes in a row. They're on like minuscule like bolters or whatever else, and then all of a sudden, he does some epic. The next roll is like 4 ones in a row, and he's like, "Yo, that's chaos coming back." It gives and it taketh away.
Chaos giveth, and the warp storm giveth and it taketh.
Yo, exactly. So, I know our back is against the wall. I want to hit the Clay's question here real quick, too. Robbie B., Kenny, what do you guys think about the new Space Marine Codex, the rumors of it? Like, is it going to make a difference? Is it not? Do you think it's going to get the Eldar love? Or, is it going to, maybe just get an upgrade? What if, I'm even going to pose this question for us, what if the Space Marine book that comes out only gets mildly better than what it was or what it is right now? Is that playable?
In this environment, no. I mean, maybe depending on how you can do the chapter tactics and how you can work the angles and things like with some of the allies, but it seems like it really needs some strength. It really needs some freebies, some formations, some detachments.
Yeah, but if they give it, if they give it the Space Wolf treatment, it'll be fun.
Yeah. I mean,
it's just a really generic book. Everyone has one. Like, first off, get rid of this Grim Resolve as my thing you give me. That shit is worthless.
Yeah.
It really is. they need to do so much work in so many different things. But I think it's selfish to like be like, well, I want Marines to be this when there's so much other stuff out there that maybe could use some work too, you know?
Yeah, just I wish that every book
I mean, that's
stuff,
true.
but-
It's just that Space Marines have been the truth for so long. I don't know if I'm prepared for them not to be the truth, you know?
And to be honest, I think that if a Space Marine can stay as the truth, it is the equalizer. Go with me on this. What do you guys think? It is the equalizer because armies that can't kill each other can fight Space Marines. But pretty much Space Marines can always fight everybody. So it's kind of like the balance in the universe. You know what I mean? Like, so my NIDS, I do very well against Space Marine armies for the most part. But there's stuff that Space Marines kill that I can't even think about.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like I need them to stay. It's like the sheriffs or the police, you know, of the 41st millennium.
No, I can completely understand that.
So
Yeah.
I'm praying. I'm gonna do rain dances for all you Space Marine players.
I hope it works out. I'm optimistic for Marine release. I mean, we're already seeing.
I'm very optimistic. But think about like how much it affects people. That like a lot of these Super Friends builds and these builds. I mean, that can be a game changer.
Well, it can, but a lot of those builds are more competitive style. They're not really the casual style that I think Games Workshop makes.
Yes,
That's
the
a whole
casual
nother.
community is the vast majority of the community, but we have competition in our heart. Like, this entire show is about playing the game.
I mean, it is all about getting up into them scrawny Xenos' faces and being able to
I
deal.
just want to grab them by their stupid faces and put them in a sharpshooter. I want to throw them down.
As long as we're talking about all the Xenos that don't speak, Niddish.
All right, Juice. We got any more questions, or we can wrap this one up? Sorry guys. It was we kind of time, but hopefully we'll make it up to you.
I'll have to record our podcast though, so look forward to seeing us carpet bomb the internet at some point tomorrow with listen to the podcast.
On one of the medias, if not them all.
Every single one of them, including my cell phone. Anyway, give me a call. You can find my number on my page. I'll tell you personally.
I'll probably call you tomorrow. All right, guys. I guess that's it for this one. Make sure you head on over to the longwar.net, obviously the home of the battle reports, for exclusive content and early access videos and ad-free videos for the first week of the Long War today. All right, good night, everybody.